How often should I water this? Do I water it every day? How do I know when to water? Should I water it every Tuesday? How do I know if it's dry? Can I overwater? Hi, I'm Carrie from Ashcombe, and today we're going to talk about watering those summer flowers. How often to water is one of the biggest questions that we get here, and it's really hard to answer. There are so many variables to consider when watering. Is it a newly planted plant or something that's really well established? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it in the sun or the shade? How much water does that plant really need? How much water did you give it the last time you watered? Is there rain in the forecast? So as you can see, there are so many variables that it is a really hard question to answer, but we're going to talk about some of the ways to know when your plant does need watered. Of course, one of the very first signs that your plant needs a drink is it's wilted. Now, it can also be a sign of heat stress, but if you know it's dry, please water it right away if it looks like this. Other signs include yellow leaves or stunted growth, or maybe not as many flowers as your plants are supposed to have. So when you are watering, you want to make sure that you are saturating the entire root system. Broadcast watering, which a lot of people do, and they water the leaves, is not saturating the roots very well. Wet leaves can also lead to mildew and disease if the water doesn't have time to evaporate during the day. A better way to water is to water down at the base of the plants, down in the root system, avoiding getting water on the leaves. If you have a really sunny day and the water lays on the leaves, it can also burn the leaves. Another tip, if it is super hot that day, make sure you drain all of the hot water out of your hose first before you start watering your plants. That can also lead to leaf scald. If you don't have a fancy hose and you're using a watering can, the same is still true. Water down at the base of the plants, avoid getting water on the leaves. And most watering cans, the nozzle comes off as well for more precise watering. The hardest thing to keep alive, in my opinion, are your hanging baskets, especially those in full sun. When it's 90 degrees and blazing sun, it's not uncommon to water your baskets twice a day, but you want to make sure you're giving them enough water each time. A simple cup of water in the pot isn't going to cut it. You need to make sure that you're saturating the entire root system until the water drains out the bottom of the pot. As the water's draining out the bottom of the saucer, now you know you've saturated the entire root system. This will get you through that 90-degree day, but it's not uncommon to check them again later in the afternoon in July and August. Some other tips to help you know if your plants are dry are to get used to the weight before and after you water. When we check hanging baskets, we feel how heavy they are before we water them. This will tell you if it's wet or dry. Same with your containers. Feel the weight of it before you water it and after so that you know how it feels each time. You can also use moisture meters that test the dampness in the soil. Or here's a little gardening hack. Barbecue skewers. Take your skewer or stick and put it down into the soil, at least a good 3 or 4 inches, and pull it out. This one came out clean, so that tells me this plant is very dry. Now this basket, which we did just water, we're gonna do the same thing, put our stick down in, and as you can see, it comes out with lots of soil on it, and this tells me it's moist and I should wait another day. I hope these tips helped in keeping your plants healthy and watered this summer. Check out our next upcoming video on fertilizing their annuals.